Hello, and welcome to our Do Some Good webinar, all about automating the collection of testimonials and stories about your company's impact. Now, you're likely already doing a great job collecting impact stories from community organizations you support, or you really want to collect stories, but there always seems to be other more urgent priorities. Either way, let's face it, you can only collect so many stories in a given year with the time you have. Now, does this sound familiar? You reach out to charities and nonprofits and either get no response or very low uptake. You go back and forth over days or even weeks to get info, photos, and stats. Now you finally have everything you need, and now you need to actually sit down and write your story. You run the story through internal and external approval channels and get permission from the organization to share the story publicly. That's a lot of work for a small yield. Well, there's a better way. With Do Some Good, all of this work comes off your plate and you get your time back. Now let's take a quick peek at what we're going to cover today. So with Do Some Good, you can have powerful testimonials coming in about your company's impact with just a few clicks, authentic impact stories auto-created for you using our unique story generator tool, the power to fully edit auto-created stories, and why we recommend you actually don't. And we'll share a success story where one of our customers received 100 stories in just 3 weeks. But first, because there are some people here who may not know what Do Some Good is, let me quickly explain. Do Some Good's a community engagement platform or a community ecosystem made up of businesses like yourselves who truly want to give back, community organizations who keep our community strong, and individuals in the community who care and want to be involved. For businesses, we have 3 main buckets of value: automated storytelling, both the collection and distribution, streamlining donation and sponsorship requests, and employee volunteerism. Because of community-minded businesses who pay to use the platform, all community organizations and individuals can use the platform for free. This saves community organizations thousands of dollars a year that they can reinvest back into the community. Plus, because the platform offers so much value, organizations want to use Do Some Good and are using it. So they are invested and more receptive to providing you with testimonials and stories. So let's dig in and share how you can get powerful testimonials about your company's impact with just a few clicks. When you join Do Some Good, one of the first things we recommend you to add all the charities, all the nonprofits you supported the last few years as community connections. Now it's super easy. In your management area, go to the community connections page, click the green add connection or invite organization button, and you're going to see a list of all the organizations already on the platform in your area. And with one click, you're connected. You can also search for any organization. Now, even if an organization is not on Do Some Good, you can still add them. You also have the option to invite the organization to join Do Some Good, which we always recommend. They'll know the significant free value is because of you, which strengthens your relationship with them and boosts your brand as a company that cares. Each time you add a community connection, we automatically nudge that organization to leave you a testimonial about your company's impact. But here's the thing, like all of us, organizations may need a few reminders. You can re-nudge them every 30 days by just clicking the request testimonial button next to their name on your connections list. We highly recommend you set up a recurring task in your calendar, just 5 minutes a month, it's worth it. If you remind organizations, the testimonials will come. And even if a community organization isn't on the platform, you can still request a testimonial and they can still send you one. And then you're gonna get marketing gold like this. Testimonials like these are powerful third-party social proof of the good you do. That with Do Some Good, you can get in only just a few minutes, not hours or weeks. And when a testimonial comes in, you receive an email or a notification, and you get the opportunity to approve it before it will appear on your profile or elsewhere. While we're talking about community connections and testimonials, I also want to quickly share a few recent enhancements we've made to make it even easier for you to communicate with organizations on the platform. You can now easily message your connections one-to-one or bulk message several at once from your community connections page. A great way to use this feature is to bulk message all of your connections to let them know maybe about a new donation cycle is about to start. There are tons of new ways to sort your list by connection date, organization name, location, and more. And we've added search functionality so you can find a specific organization quickly. And finally, If one of your contacts leaves an organization, a fail-safe is now in place, so your message is sent to the next admitted line. Turnover is high with organizations, so this ensures you have an uninterrupted line of communication. Okay, so testimonials about your company's community impact are rolling in. How about stories? Let our story generator tool do all of the work. Let's dig in. What is Story Generator? Well, it's a powerful tool that auto-creates authentic impact stories for you by those you support, like community organizations, your employees, your customers, and more. It's also very unique. Do Some Good has been featured in the Realized Worth Institute Technology study for the past couple of years. And RWI reps have told us that the hundreds of platforms they've looked at all around the world, we are the only platform approaching storytelling in this way. So what are the benefits of using Story Generator? What is the why? Well, Story Generator saves you significant time by removing manual processes and making it easy for contributors. This increases participation rates and ultimately leads to you getting more great content. Now, I'm sure you know there's a growing demand for companies to share stories that are as authentic as possible. Story Generator allows you to gather stories from those you support in their own words, essentially empowering those in your network to become brand ambassadors. And ultimately, having more impact stories coming in helps boost your brand and reputation as a company that cares. Okay, that sounds great, right? But how does the Story Generator actually work? Let's look at a few quick examples. This is an example of an impact follow-up form, which is one of our ready-made templates that's available to you. Now imagine sending this out to community organizations you've supported to learn more about the impact your company has had. The template includes questions like, please describe the support you've received and the impact it's had on your cause. Or what support is still needed and how can people learn more or get involved? Now, when someone fills out this form, our Story Generator tool takes the responses to these tagged questions and pieces a story together, auto-creating it for you. Each time someone fills out the form and a submission comes in, you get the proper notifications and emails to alert you. With one click, you have an auto-created impact story. You land here on the story editing page where you have full control to edit the story before you post it. Things like adding a title. Maybe you want to shorten the story or fix a typo or a spelling mistake. Now you can also change the headers in your story. Support we received, how you can help. These headers are set up when you create your form or use a template. Now it's super easy to change these headers here or set them up ahead of time to be the same for every auto-created story, so you never have to edit them. Let me show you how to do that. Right now, I'm using our intuitive and easy drag and drop form builder tool. Now, not only can you preview what the form looks like for people filling it out, but you can also preview what the finished story will look like by clicking Preview Story. And you can change what the headers will be. So right now, our last header is how you can help. So when you click on a question, look at your properties window here. It says, when publishing a story, what should the header above the response be? We're going to change this to learn more about this organization, save it, and again, preview the story. And you can see updated header there, so you don't have to change it when each of these stories roll in. Taking a minute or two to set up these headers can save you a lot of time with editing later. Now, for more tips like this, you could always click on the help button or the best practices button on any page in your management area. Now, if you click on the best practices button from this page, you'll find a full video as well as a tip sheet about impact storytelling to get the full details on all of the how-to. Okay, so maybe you've added a title, you've shortened the story a bit, adjusted the headers. We strongly recommend that you stop there in terms of editing. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's a growing demand for stories to be as authentic and raw as possible. People trust stories with rougher edges and are skeptical of stories that look too perfect. So fight the urge to polish things too much at the editing phase. Now, I do have a ton more tips about preparing your story for posting, but I'll be covering that in the next webinar, so I'm going to leave you in suspense for now. So, using the impact follow-up form template to receive amazing stories from causes you've supported is just one example of how you can easily automate the collection of authentic stories. Here are some other ready-made templates we have that you can use as is, or you can edit to suit your needs. An employee spotlight form is great to recognize the good your staff is doing, which means you not only get great content, but you also increase employee morale. A branch or store spotlight is a great way for those of you with multiple stores or branches to empower local managers or owners. They can use the form to contribute ongoing stories about after an event, a campaign, or some other goodness initiative. Now, these are just a few ways that we've seen customers use Story Generator. Ultimately, you can ask any audience any question and it will auto-create the responses into a story. The possibilities are only limited to your creativity. But probably the most exciting way to use Story Generator is to combine it with your request form for donations, sponsorships, bursaries, scholarships, really any application you have. In your request form, you can ask a question like, have you received a donation or sponsorship from us in the past? Now, if the applicant answers yes, they fill out a few impact questions and then carry on with the rest of the application. The awesome thing about this is that the applicant is already invested in filling out the form and you have their attention. So they are very likely to fill out the impact questions as well. This leads to a much higher participation rate for impact stories than when you manually email organizations one by one. Now, this is an amazing example of what's possible with Story Generator and its seamless integration with other great Do Some Good features. In fact, one of our amazing partners, and I know we have Susan on the call today, First West Credit Union, did this exact thing in just one of their regions, and they had 100 stories come in just 3 weeks. No other platform makes it this easy. Okay, let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today. So with Do Some Good, you can have powerful testimonials about your company's impact with little to no work, authentic impact stories auto-created for you from community organizations, employees, and more, which means you get more impact stories. You know more about your company's community impact. You build relationships with your employees, your customers. You allow branches and stores to feel less siloed, and so much more. All of that work you've been spending collecting impact content off your plate. So you get your time back. So now that you have testimonials and impact stories rolling in, what's the next step? Well, you need to share them far and wide. That's what the next webinar is all about, automating the distribution of your community content so it hits your website, staff intranet, social media, other communication tools, and even local media sites with just a few clicks. We really hope to see you there. Okay, that brings us to the end of our webinar. Now, if I could ask for just one small favor, when we send this video out, please share it with everyone in your social impact network and anyone you think would benefit from it. If you're not yet on the Do Some Good platform and want to learn more or get a personalized demo with these and other features, just email us at info@dosomegood.ca. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to learn more about Do Some Good and the powerful features that helps you make your life easier. Thank you.